Well, the Cleveland Browns OTA session and minicamp has wrapped up. And now they're going into a little break. We got to wait 5 weeks till the Cleveland Browns is back at it. But through it all, there's been some highs, there's been some lows, and there's been some assessments of both of these quarterbacks. As we know, Todd Monken said this is a quarterback competition. Now, Cleveland Browns quarterback coach Mike B is on the record, and he says some great things about Shedeur Sanders on what he saw in OTAs and minicamp. Also, what he has done in the offseason and the things that he looks good at, the things that he has improved on. And he gives us a great breakdown on how he feels about Shedeur Sanders on his maturation process from last year, his rookie year, coming into his sophomore year. And Shedeur Sanders in OTAs and mini camps has impressed a lot of people, and a lot of media has flip-flopped and has said some good things about Shedeur Sanders. But Cleveland Browns quarterback coach Mike B set the record straight on what he has seen from Shedeur Sanders throughout the OTAs and mini camps. And guess what, guys? We're going to break it down right after this.
What's up, K-Sap? Yeah. James Ford, that's me. Let me talk to him. Let's get it.
Simply ball dropping, simply ball dropping. Chopping up these topics, man, I'm simply ball dropping. Driving coast to coast, making moves, ain't stopping. Driving coast to coast, making moves, ain't stopping. Nah.
Hey, let me put you on game. These other podcasts out here talking that shit, but ain't repping the same. This my bro K-Sap, chopping up topics for your optics. From politics to your top picks. Tune in, you gotta watch this. Exclusive material for your radio, stereo, pumping high definition. Stop what you doing and listen. We smashing all competition. You better jump on this wave. Somebody pass me a mic, man, I got something to say.
And now, your host of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast, the man behind the mic, K-Sap.
Well, guys, you know I got something to say, man. It's been a lot of high praise going around for Shedeur Sanders. And we've seen it from, and we've heard it from head coach Todd Monken. He's talking about how he has all of a sudden just became so much better. And that's a testament to Shedeur Sanders' work ethic. Shedeur Sanders in the offseason went out, he slimmed down, he looks much more nimble, mobile, behind center. Shedeur Sanders and OTAs doing some great things, throwing some great balls. We've always known that Shedeur Sanders was an elite passer, an accurate passer. And just listening to some of the words that Andrew Berry said, he's a natural, accurate passer. Natural. And we've seen that in some of the clips through OTAs and minicamp. And it's a lot of high praise going around for Shedeur Sanders, starting with his head coach, Todd Monken, giving him all kinds of praise on how he has progressed, how his footwork looks good, how his progressions are looking better, how he's getting the ball out quick, and he's still learning. And we heard from Shedeur Sanders himself talking about he's trying to be the best version of himself, coming out here to work hard and trying to get better as a quarterback. And he said he's going to let the chips fall where they lay. And that's a testament to his hard work. And then you got your quarterback's coach piggybacking off of everything that Todd Monken has said. And that isn't a testament to what Shedeur Sanders brings to the table. And we heard Lance Reisland say that Shedeur Sanders has much more impact on this team than Deshaun Watson. And that's not no slight to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has been removed from the NFL game for the last 2 years. The NFL game has changed since he's come back. Yeah, he looks great. He's out there throwing the ball well. But when you get these live bullets coming at you, how can Deshaun Watson perform? Shedeur Sanders is just coming off of 7 games that he started in the NFL last year and went into the offseason on a 2-game win streak over the divisional opponents in Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. So now, quarterback's coach, Mike B, he's keeping it brutally honest about Shedeur Sanders. And it seems like Mary Kay Cabot can't get out of her way thinking that Shedeur Sanders is so far behind Deshaun Watson that he has a lot of catching up to do. So I want you guys to listen to what Mike B was saying and the questions that Mary Kay Cabot has asked him. And do y'all think Mary Kay Cabot has a different motive? Because she's painting this narrative that Shedeur Sanders is way behind Deshaun Watson. You heard what she said at the start of OTAs, just give the job to Watson. And she's asking Mike B, does Shedeur Sanders have a lot of catching up to do? So pay attention, and I'm going to let y'all hear this. Roll the clip.
About Shedeur, what have you seen from him from a developmental standpoint over even just the past 3 weeks, really?
I'd say the past, 10 or 12 weeks, whatever it's been, he's done a great job of defining his footwork, playing with a base, learning the offense, working his butt off to really master his craft. And it's been fun to watch. He's done a really good job. He's gone like that. He's getting through progressions faster, and his feet are matching that mindset.
A lot of talk has been about that footwork, and I was curious, like, what is the work behind the scenes look like to match the footwork? I feel like that's maybe, like, you can comment more on it, but, like, is that maybe one of the hardest things to really work on with a young quarterback?
Yes and no. They got to buy into it, and he's bought into it. You know, you're going to coach the finer points of drop technique and playing with a base and all that, and he has been receptive to everything. And that's been it's been great. It's been very refreshing. All our guys have. You know, Deshaun been playing a long time for a lot of different coaches, and from the start, you know, I said, "How have you done this in the past?" On something we were working on. He says, "Coach, I did this, but how do you want it done?" And that speaks volumes to what these guys are trying to accomplish. They're all in. It allows you to evaluate faster.
Coach says that both quarterbacks want the sort of smoke of what it takes in this offense on the quarterback in terms of responsibility, line, and all those kinds of things. With Deshaun having so much experience doing that sort of thing, can Shedeur catch up to the point where he can be where Deshaun is when you make this decision, when you have apples to apples by that?
Absolutely. Shedeur's done a great job. Wow. They've both done a great job at that. And I love Coach's approach to install and how we're challenging them. We've thrown a ton at them from a volume standpoint, from an install standpoint, in terms of cadence, procedure, the ability to drive the car and get us in and out of the right plays. And they've embraced it, and they've both done a great job of it. So I credit Coach's philosophy of throwing it at them early, and you know, it's almost like, hey, you got to sink or swim, and they're both swimming.
Now, you heard exactly what Mike B had to say. Now, you heard what Mary Kay Cabot was trying to insinuate. She's trying to insinuate that Shedeur Sanders is way behind Deshaun Watson. And she asked him, do you think Shedeur Sanders can catch up to Watson? And Mike B shut that down. It was like, most definitely. He's not behind Deshaun Watson. And I'm glad that Mike B answered that question, because it seems like Mary Kay wants her questions answered and to a point where you have to give it to her raw and uncut. and I'm glad that he didn't pull no punches. But that goes to show that Mary Kay Cabot really doesn't have too much interest in Shedeur Sanders being a starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And that's why I'm glad Todd Monken always shuts her down, stands on his principles, and basically tells Mary Kay, stop asking the same questions because you're going to get the same answers every time. And she is trying to push his buttons, but he's not falling for it. Mary Kay Cabot is unreal. And I'm glad that Mike B was brutally honest about Shedeur Sanders as a quarterback. And he didn't have to undermine everything Deshaun Watson has done to get back to this level. He just kept it real. And Mary Kay Cabot seems to don't understand that. I see everybody in the comment section, #salute. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.